guys, my name is Angelise, and today I have someone very special. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Pascal Juang, and I'm a emergency physician in California. Actively practicing, and glad to be here.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. PJ, for being here. For me and everyone else in healthcare, thank you for all that you do. I can't imagine how hard it's been for you and everyone in healthcare working during this pandemic. So honestly, I'm sure that everyone watching this video also wants to thank you. So thank you for all your hard work. You're very much
You're
appreciated.
very welcome, and I'm just doing something that everyone else is doing. So, um,
No, but still, you guys are undervalued, to be honest. So I just want to say what you do is hard, and thank you, really. So I want to ask you some questions because it's interesting. I don't think people realize how hard it is to become a doctor, all the struggles that people face, and you know, everyone somehow, some way, we all face some type of adversity. But I first want to ask you, what inspired you to become a doctor?
well, I think just growing up, probably influenced from my mom. And when I was young, and Asian mom, right? So she said, I think she only said it once, like, "Oh yeah, maybe you should think about becoming a doctor because they're educated and they help people." and it didn't take much more than that. It was just like I just remember that, and I going through college, and I went to a math and science high school in New York City, Stuyvesant High School. So a lot of people on the East Coast know that school, and then it's a public school where you take a test to get in, and then they specialize in math and science. So
Wow.
I went there and had a solid background, and then went to college and didn't plan on being a doctor, but just kept it kind of in the back of my mind and took the classes that were prereqs just to keep my options open because I didn't know if I wanted to go into business or finance or something else. And frankly, in college, I had like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different majors that I switched around before I settled. And I mean, at one point, I was thinking of starting studying art history, and or geology, and so, but finally, I settled on to my final majors, which were econ and bio. So that was kind of like a path to becoming a doctor. And then finally, I decided I wanted to go to med school, and went through that whole process too.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to be where you're at today?
Well, I took a pretty straightforward route, but had a change of career, kind of mid-career.
Right.
And so I went from college to med school, and after med school, I started off in ophthalmology, and
Wow.
I
Oh, I got
matched.
LASIK eye surgery.
Oh yeah, there you go. Great. Me too.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I know it's great, right? So I went into ophthalmology. I thought I wanted to do a surgical specialty, and it's something that was kind of office based. And during med school, you kind of get on a track at some point and think, hey, that's what I want to do. And then when I actually started doing it, I didn't find it as fulfilling as I thought it would be. And it's great for a lot of people, but I decided to change careers, and then I switched to emergency medicine.
Wow. And how long have you been an ER doc?
Oh wow, like 20 years. And so
What?
20
That's
plus, yes.
amazing.
And so I actually, so the length was college, 4 years. Then I took half a year off to kind of apply and finish my major. I had a dual major
Mhm.
from Stanford. It was in economics and biology. So I came back for a quarter and finished my econ degree. And as I was applying, and then I got in med school. So basically 5.5 years of 4.5 years of college, then 4 years of med school, then 2 years of internship in ophthalmology, first year residency, and then I took a year off working while I was reapplying to get into emergency medicine. Then I did 3 years of emergency medicine, and I was at Brigham and Women's and Mass General Hospital in
Uh-huh.
Boston. And then after that, I finished, and then I went out, and my first job. First permanent position turned out to be my final permanent position where I am now
Oh,
because
wow.
I have a great job. And so 4 years college,
Hmm.
4.5 years college, 4 years of med school, and post med school 6 more years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. So it's been a journey.
it took a while. Yeah,
It took, but you know what? I'm sure that the satisfaction that you get from it on a daily basis has been worth it. So, um, that I feel like that's all that we really want in life is that satisfaction that you help someone else. I know, at least for me, when even at clinicals that I have to complete, like my patients are just so thankful for what I do. And I'm like, I'm there for free because, we don't get paid to do any of that. So it's just
yeah,
honestly an act of service. And I feel like, wow, like I love this feeling of just making someone else's day and helping them recover. So I'm sure that you feel the same way on a daily basis, and that's amazing. So wait, you said Stanford, and I saw on your Instagram you were trained at Harvard as well.
yeah. Harvard was where I did my residency,
Okay.
and that was a 4 year residency, which
Wow.
some emergency medicine residencies are 3 years, but that one was 4 years. I kind of got a pass for the first year because I already did 2 years.
Wow.
And so that internship year that I already did, they gave me credit. Plus, I had extra proficiency in ophthalmology. So um, when I went there, my class helped start the program. And so I was first chief resident there. And when they recruited the first class, they wanted all of the first class to have extra specialty or extra credentials,
Wow.
partly because there was no emergency medicine formalized program there before I got there. And the doctors who started that program there actually are, a lot of them are giants in the field.
Yep.
And like the textbook of emergency medicine with Peter Rosen,
Mhm.
uh, his name is on the textbook
Yeah.
since deceased. Are you familiar with that book?
Is it like I want to say Potter or something? Or
No,
no?
it used to be a purple book. Now it's like green, 3 volumes. It's like there's two definitive textbooks. Every field has their like that's the main textbook for that
Yes.
field, right?
Yes.
So one of them is by a doctor named Tintinelli. Another one is by a doctor named Rosen. But he's the chief. He was the chief editor, and
Yeah.
all his associate editors. There's 4 or 5 of those, et cetera. Just like you see Harrison's Principles of Internal Medicine,
Yeah.
everyone sees that book, and there's a chief editor, and the 4 other editors are giants in their field, like including Fauci has been one of them, right?
Wow. Yep.
And so in my Instagram, I posted that was my med school textbook, right? And
Wow.
so the leaders at the Harvard program were recruited because they were leaders in their field, and so they started up the program, and I was the first class of residents. There was only a handful of us that started that program,
Wow.
and
And how
so that
how is it being like going to a prestigious university? Because Harvard, Stanford, that's big. Like what's the difference between the universities that other people go to versus prestigious university?
I think of course there's prestige, and I think that is just historically because
Yeah.
they've excelled and are rated by other people. I think, um, well, having said that, there's so many great universities to go to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to go to Harvard or Stanford to have a great education, great training. You can go to a lot of places. Um, but the thing that I found consistent there um, was the quality of the people. I think the quality of the people is excellent. So the people you're training with and the people who are training you are really smart,
Yeah.
and they combine that with really hard work.
Yep.
And that combination is really almost unbeatable.
Yeah, it's
And
like
it,
it's like. Have you heard the saying? If you hang out with five losers, you become the six. So
yeah,
you
and
gotta
now
hang
I
out
have,
with great people and to
yeah,
become great. So
yeah. So I mean, it really, like they say, look at someone's friends, and then that's what
I'll
you're
tell you
like.
who you
Kind
are.
of the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yep.
So if you're in an environment where excellence is expected, and the people who are picked to go there, um, have a strong foundation, then that's a great environment to learn and to train in.
I agree. Well, congratulations to you. I know that your mom must be so proud of you, and I'm pretty sure she has a copy of your Harvard degree somewhere in her house.
Yeah,
I know my mom would, but
yeah.
that's amazing, you know. Um, so in regards to like all of this, everything that you've accomplished, I mean, it's phenomenal. It's admirable, truly. So,
Thanks.
but I'm sure like you face some type of adversity. So, was there ever a time in your life that you thought like I'm not gonna make it, or just you felt at your lowest, but you overcame it?
Um, you know what? There are always times like that in everybody's life, but it's all relative.
Yes.
So for some people, their rough time might be like they lost their job and they lost their income,
Yep.
and that's their lowest point. Um, I'm actually grateful that I've been very fortunate that um, throughout college, and then you go to medicine and med school. It's kind of like even though you uh, face a lot of adversity, it's a different kind of adversity. You're even though you're a resident, I'd say the residency is the hardest part of medical training because um, you're working so hard, you get paid so little. If you don't have any outside support, then it's really tough. Um, and for instance, like I, of course, like many people, I didn't come from a family with money.
Yeah.
And so when I was in residency, I was logging 100 hours a week. Internship, my record was 135 hours a week.
Wow.
And I think there's what, like 160 something hours in a week. But I mean, I spent 135 of those in the hospital during my
Wow.
surgical rotation. And I don't think people understand that as a resident, um, you're actually paid like $30,000 a year
Yeah.
for all those hours. So when you calculate it out, it's like I was making like $2 an hour or something. And so in residency, I was living off of loans, and I mean, basically, I was broke, right? And so a lot of people feel that. So that combined with all the work and no sleep and pressure, so that was a very difficult time. But every doctor goes through that,
Yep.
that kind of work hour and stuff like that. But you know, people come from different backgrounds, so it's a different level of stress for everybody. So I would say that I wouldn't say it's like low and felt like I couldn't get through. It was more like, wow, I'm working really hard and I'm really tired, and I think at some point I had only 4 days off a
Wow.
year, a
Wow.
year. So there's only, I remember in residency I had um, counted it, and the amount of days that I had on the weekend that were, or total, that were off where I was not post call, pre call, or had to go to another meeting outside of the clinicals was like 4 days.
Wow.
And in
That's
Boston,
crazy.
2 of those days are not good because it's either raining or it's snowing. And so really, like, those 4 days, two of them, I was like, oh, I can't really go out. And,
Yeah.
so I
That
remember
must
that
have been
was
hard.
challenging. Yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough.
And was it hard? Like, did you have, besides family, did you have like a special someone that was there for you during those times? Or like you were just,
Yeah, there's support through your residency, through your family. So I think that really helps. But um, the thing is, you don't get to see your uh, family, and you go home and you sleep,
yep,
and you sleep, you sleep, you work, and then you have a few hours off, and then especially during residency, to the I think advice I would give to people who are training is, although it's hard at the time you're training, everyone says, "Oh yeah, it'll be worth it at the end." And I remember people saying that to me. I was like, "You don't know what it's like, dude." I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you can say whatever you want, but man, I'm grinding, and it's like not easy.
yeah,
And it's like, yeah, I got 4 more years of this to go or whatever. But the thing is, uh, if you work hard when you're young, then you'll cruise the rest of your life.
yep,
If you cruise when you're young, you're going to be working hard the rest of your life.
yes, yes,
So that's something really important to remember. So, people in nursing school, people in med school and residency training, all that, when you have that opportunity to really learn, and you have your teachers and your mentors who can be your backstop
yep,
if you make a mistake or something, then really take advantage of that because once you get out of training, it's all you.
Yep.
And the buck stops with you, and you have the full responsibility.
It's
And
it's
there's like when you're a resident, if you're doing stuff and like, oh, there's a mistake or something, which people do make mistakes in residencies and because it's teaching, right? And so,
true.
the attending physician will catch you. But once you're out there, it's like it's only you.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the experience or the confidence or the knowledge to handle every situation, especially in emergency medicine, then you're going to have a very stressful career.
Yeah, that's true. But I like that you said that because, I started nursing at 18 and I just told myself, Angie, I wanted to just really have it's just what you said. You were like, you have to work hard in your younger years to cruise later on. And
Yeah,
that's exactly what I told myself. Like, you see these teens nowadays and they're like partying, doing whatever they want, but they don't have money. They're partying with that with their parents' money. So in
yeah,
my head, I'm like, I want to enjoy life, but with my own money later
yeah,
on. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And that was always where I was at. I just told myself, my family came here for opportunity for me to educate myself. And I just told myself, focus on your career right now. And later on in life, my future family, my parents, they are going to be happy. And definitely I'll be able to cruise later on in life, and I do plan on going far, hopefully getting my PhD in nursing, getting my DMP. I do want to do all those things, but I really love that you brought that up because it's so true. And I don't think the youth understands that anymore.
yeah. And while you're going through that experience, it's really easy to say, look, I need a break, and I'm just not going to do that extra thing. But if you do that extra thing that provides you experience or knowledge, it will be worth it later on.
Yes.
Make that extra effort.
Yes, it's true. It's true. So, if you could give like one advice to someone wanting to go into med school and then someone who's in med school currently, like a resident, what would you tell them? Um,
Well, if you want to go to med school, the most important thing is just get good grades
yeah.
because I don't know if you're aware, I actually do med school admissions counseling too.
Really? Okay.
And yeah, if you hit my, I think Instagram post to my Facebook, that's my public site. My
Yeah.
and as I mentioned before, we got on this call. Like before this pandemic, I try to avoid social media. I'm kind of actually a private person, and but because of this pandemic, there is so much need for reliable information,
Yeah.
and it directly affected all of us, and especially us in the emergency department. So I really wanted to put out good information so people could understand what's going on. But having said that, now I'm on social media. Um, I advise for med school admissions, and one of the things I tell people is, look, the way it is now, it's just the cutoff is, it's a number cutoff to get in, whether you like it or not. That's gonna allow the med schools to make the first cuts because there's just like any admissions process, there's has to be some kind of criteria where they do some screening. So get as the best grades you can, the best MCAT scores that you can, because that is very important for that screening.
Yeah.
All those extracurriculars and clinicals and stuff like that you can do are great because everyone else is doing it. If you can do research, that's great because then that just adds, um, I guess, additional points for when you're being evaluated for that interview.
Yeah.
So that's what I would advise people.
Awesome. And what about current residents who are like really going through it right now?
Um, Keep grinding.
Yep.
Keep grinding, take those opportunities when you have a chance to do those things like extra stuff where you can do that extra procedure or see that extra patient. Do that and then read as much as you can.
Yes. Is there
That's
one
what I
book
would
that
do.
you recommend aside from like anything medical related? Is there one book that you've read that changed your life and you recommend to other people to read?
Um, well, I'd say my favorite book
Yeah.
is The Count of Monte Cristo by
Okay.
Alexander Dumas.
Okay. I'm gonna have to read. I'm an avid book reader, so I'm
Okay.
gonna
And
I'm gonna read that
he's
one.
the same author, French author, who wrote The Three Musketeers.
Okay.
and so that's very famous. Made it to movies and all that. But the reason why I really like that book, I read it in high school,
Okay.
and the main character in that book, um, it's a story about um, difficulty reaching the lowest point that you could ever reach in your life
Yeah.
and coming back from it and facing adversity. And so that's a really good book that I thought, wow, this guy is like incredible.
Yeah.
And, I won't give the punchline or anything, but, some of the methods he uses is, several hundred years ago. Yeah, it's like really cool. But, it's just more um, because he gets revenge on the people who made his life miserable.
Yeah.
And the the inspiring part about the book is just his ingenuity, his determination in reaching his goals.
Right.
Not so much what his goals were, but just those character traits. I think were inspiring.
Wow. Well, now you guys know that book. I'm gonna also put the link down below. So if any of you guys want to buy that, it'll be in the descriptions down below. But Miss Dr. PJ, where can everyone follow you? Please let me know your IG, YouTube, if you have a TikTok. Where can people find you?
Yeah. So my Instagram is pj.health, and my YouTube is Pascal Zhuang MD, and I have some videos up there on a series of videos. That's actually easier to follow, I think, than Instagram, because Instagram you have to scroll and find stuff, but on YouTube the videos that I put up they're all categorized and have titles on it, so it's kind of easier to find information there. And then my public Facebook site is Med School Interview Insider,
Yep.
and that started out as my um, uh, website for medical school and PA school, because I do a lot of PA school interview um, coaching, and that started out as that. But with my when I started Instagram last year, then it automatically posts, and then I also have a website, Med School Interview Insider. That's purely for the med school and PA school. And oh, I forgot to mention, have you heard of Scribe America?
Uh-huh. It sounds familiar.
Scribe America is the largest scribe company in the country,
Okay.
and they actually um, started my hospital,
Wow.
and now they have, I think, over 1,000 sites in hospital and out of hospital, like 10,000 plus employees, and I'm their official med school and PA school um, consultant for
Wow.
admissions. So if you go to Scribe America's site, actually, you could see information. Just Google my name, Scribe America, admissions consulting, and you'll see it come up. And I think there actually might even be a discount code or something on there too.
Awesome. I'll try to link that all down below so you guys can check that out. And yeah, just once again, Dr. PJ, thank you for everything that you do. It's been a pleasure getting to know you and just hearing your background, who you are, and how look at how many years you studied, but it paid off, and you look happy, healthy. So
It's
that's
easy to say now, not in residency, right? But
amazing. But thank you so much. And thank you to everyone watching this video. It's very much appreciated. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And don't forget to check out Dr. PJ's page. So bye guys. Have a good one.